Nailed it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Adventures with
Hey!
Trackless.
Hello.
Uh, why not? Let's roll d6.
Oh boy.
Hmm.
4.
5.
4.
Hey Kevin, what happened last time?
We went to Dagger's village, took her family on a road trip, came back, ate some pie, got attacked by bees, found out that her dad was some sort of pirate imprisoned somewhere near Cormier, but it could also be Sambuel or Candlekeep, somewhere around that area, because they mentioned the purple dragons. And yeah, we didn't really do much other than play with your family.
We also heard some about Varth's backstory.
I wasn't there for that.
Yes. Yeah, we learned that Varth's first life before he was a Yonti, that his wife and kid were still alive, his wife and daughter, and that they were obviously much older because that was a while ago, because Varth was a Yonti for like 10 something years or more. And he wasn't sure if they still were alive or not.
So yeah, you guys wake up the next morning. It's still in the village, and we're probably getting ready to head out.
Did we want to do more with the village? There's other villagers around here. We should invite for dinner. We haven't seen in a while.
I haven't, no. I mean, is there anything that we need? Like, suppose we could stop for supplies in the shop, because they're it's a couple days from here to Candlekeep.
You could go to the local Red Arrow General Store.
Yeah, let's do that. We have money. Sorry, a ghost just turned my heater
on. You go to this one-floor cottage shop, and you notice that there's a tiefling in here, and she seems to have on display a bunch of very mundane looking, mostly stuff you would expect that the village would need, such as shoes, rope, farming tools, lamp oil, preserved food goods, etc. in here.
Do I recognize her? Is she the...
And it is, yes, Dagger, it is Charity Brightwood.
Okay.
What a silly name.
And there is a small collection of books here as well, and she's reading them. Has on her reading spectacles. Well, reading one of them, not all of them.
But... Just sort of knock and wave.
Oh. Hello. What can I help you with? Wait a minute. Are you one of the Catterleys?
Yeah,
one of the Amber Crowns. My bad.
Wait, Catterley's not your name?
Yeah, we fucking discussed this literally yesterday.
We did?
Yes. I told you guys before you guys walked in the front door that she wouldn't be my mom wouldn't be calling me by Dagger because it's a nickname.
I was reading. Sorry, I said Catterley. I was reading a book by someone named Catterley, Dagger Catterley. As she holds up a book, and you see it's the book that you paid for in Sigil to be copied.
Which one was that? Was that the one about?
That was the one about the Abyss. So it's whatever you titled it.
don't even remember.
That was
Do I
a
have that
while
written
ago.
down?
But in any case, so you're traveling through here.
Yeah, we were looking to just get some provisions for the road. We're heading to Candlekeep.
Okay, how much do you need?
How many days is it from here to there?
You're from the area.
2
I
days.
think it was 2 days.
2 days.
If you take your time.
2 days.
Probably a week's worth of food, just in case.
Okay, and there's...
That's good for me. How about you? That's cool.
Let's see how many of us there are, because I can never remember.
That'll be, let's see, one 10 days worth?
Mm-hmm.
That'll be 4 gold.
Okay, done. So has anything interesting been happening in town lately, or has it been pretty much same old, same old?
Nothing in the last year or two. A few years ago, there were some hill giant attacks, but that was happening everywhere in the Sword Coast. We didn't have much here in food. We were more about wax here than food. So the hill giants didn't bother us too much.
Yeah.
But in any case, safe travels.
Thanks. So Varth, when did you want to go see your family?
I'm unsure exactly how long that would take. I know where they are, and I know how to get there. And I know what the closest city is. They're outside of where I used to do business when I was a merchant then. I'm not sure. Whenever we have time, to be honest. They don't know that I'm alive at this point. If we have more pressing matters, we can wait. We do need to figure out where exactly Madi's brother is. And I think the matter of him being perhaps turned into something by an aboleth is a more pressing matter than my family, who is still well and alive. I can scry on them when I need to, so when we have downtime, I will just make sure they're alive and well.
Okay.
At this point, we have more pressing matters. We need to research some things, try to find out how old that aboleth is, and perhaps find out where it might be hiding. There are too many caverns and chasms underneath the city of Neverwinter at this point because of the earthquake. It very well could be hiding anywhere. Maybe there's some updated information after the earthquake. Somebody turned themselves into a fish and explored down there or something.
Perhaps, yeah.
I looked over at Volo. Any chance you've been down there?
Oh, sorry, I was half paying attention. What were we talking about?
Into the chasms underneath Neverwinter underwater.
Oh, yeah, I've been down there plenty of times.
After the earthquake.
Oh, no, not at all.
So it could have opened up some underwater chasm even deeper than before. No doubt there's no light down there at all, and any light we bring with us will be dangerous to have, because it will attract the attention of quite literally everything. We'll have to find some other means of seeing in the dark.
I haven't been very far down there. Lots of screwy things that go on in your head when you're in that area.
Yeah, we have to go to that part of it.
Well, you have fun with that.
Perhaps fight legions of aboleth. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
that tracks for Bolo. Slightly dangerous? I'm out. I'd rather just be a potted plant and do nothing.
And observe things.
Oh, that reminds
that's a
me.
smart way to do it.
That reminds me. And wait, I'm trying to remember. Do you guys have a wagon? I don't think you
I
guys
don't think
do.
so. No, we were using
never mind.
Phantom Steed.
Never
We
mind.
were using Phantom Steed and Bags of Holding,
Yeah.
like epic adventurers.
So before we go, I did want to say goodbye to my folks. But also, Tess and I had thought of something that might help cut down on some time. I know that Tess and Chung aren't going to be super interested in spending who knows how long in Candlekeep. Maybe they could go on ahead to Neverwinter and see what they can learn there. And we can catch up to them later. Or we could send them to check in on your family.
There's a good chance of that. The port of darn it, what port is the best port city? I think it's Calamshan, but I don't know.
Calamshan.
Is it Calamport or Memnon? I think it's Calamport. That's the closest one to where they were at, right? That's the southern port. Calamport's the southern port. Yeah, Calamport's the port, but the only city in Calamshan that is a southern port city, I think. Because I think... Oh, and Manshaka. We'll just say they were outside of Calamport. That's easier.
Okay.
It's the largest city. It's the capital city of Calamshan as well. So
I'm looking on this map, and I can't help but notice Volothamp is on it.
What? Where? What map?
At the Callum Desert, when you look at Calamport and you follow the coast to the east, you'll see Manshaka, then Nakir Isle, and then Volothamp, right next to, just west of the Spider Swamp. It looks like it's from 3rd edition Forgotten Realms map.
yeah.
Like it's its own city or town.
Maybe. My map doesn't have it. This is the world map, though, not the area specific. The area specific map has towns in it. It's probably in that as a town. I don't have that book with me. I can go fetch it if we need it.
But then again, we don't have to decide right away if we want to. I'll go to Candlekeep together, and then based on how long we stay there, change later on. Because if we absolutely have to, Baron, you could perhaps part with your boot to teleport if you'd be so willing, so that they have a way to navigate back to us.
I guess I could take more.
Otherwise, we could just, we have the sending stones.
If we use those, we should be able to communicate with them. And we can use the sending spell as well.
Yeah.
If we're not pressed for any level of combat we expect, we'll easily be able to communicate with them anytime we wish.
Yeah.
And Azra should be able to teleport us back and forth if we need to.
See you, Azra.
I'd say let's stay together for now, just because Azra's apparently not feeling super well.
She turns into cardboard cutout.
Too holy.
Yeah,
I guess
she's
to
looking rather
Candlekeep
two-dimensional.
then. Yeah.
Well, it's like, okay, let's go. And you turn around, and he's already got a mule. He's riding the mule.
No, you are not going with us. He's not allowed in Candlekeep, didn't he say?
Oh, I'm not going in Candlekeep.
I'm going around it.
I'm going to go around it.
Hey, it's not our problem.
I just want him to show up there and then them to think we're with his stupid ass.
Oh, that's rude.
You literally just mentioned the other day that you got your ass kicked out of Candlekeep.
It happens.
It's okay, Blink Dog.
But in any case, don't wait on me then.
I guess onward then. I'm gonna cast Dag and Azra probably cast Phantom Steed.
Okay.
Zoom.
That actually probably makes the day travel or 2-day travel probably closer to a day because
If that.
I mean, how long does it last?
An hour. Phantom Steed.
It's a crazy speed, though.
Yeah.
I would say it's twice the speed of a horse at that travel for that hour.
As the Phantom Steed's moving, Baron's leaning his head off to the side. Wee!
So you continue along the Way of the Lion, which is the road that leads to Candlekeep. Actually, wait. You guys might not be on the Way of the Lion. I'm trying to remember which direction you're coming from to Candlekeep.
I don't think I was very specific with where her village was.
No, you guys did come from Baldur's Gate. That's right. So you are heading south on the Way of the Lion to Candlekeep. You eventually arrive. We'll say a day later to make it easy. At the gatehouse, you see this wonderful fortress. At the top, there seems to be a shining beacon of some kind. The spires tower around it. They almost do look like candles on their own around the outside of the keep. You see that there is griffins that fly in from the top, and you see that there's like a landing area for them, like a landing pad, and that's another entryway in. And at the gatehouse in the front, you are greeted by 3 monks in purple robes. One's a human, one's a shield dwarf, and another is a sun elf. Around their necks hang holy symbols.
A joke.
Right. Around their necks hangs the holy symbol of Danir, the god of writing, whose symbol is a lit candle above an open eye. Welcome to Candlekeep, the elf says in common. A gift is required for those seeking admittance. You must donate a book or scroll that isn't already part of the library's archives. Please present your gift for inspection.
Did you just say we could give you a boat?
I'm pretty sure they said book.
Yes.
My gift is myself, because I am a giftly person.
He also has a book in his backpack, though. And I would have known ahead of time that this was a thing.
Yes,
and...
I have the book of knowledge that is unknown to anyone upon this sphere of influence. But that does not mean that I want to part with it if I can get in for free. You always have to get deals.
Your gift?
I have a bunch of books that I would have handed out to everybody. We have, hang on, let me do the math. It is 20 books of arcane lore and 60 books of historical tomes that we were going to spread out. I don't know that. Yeah, no, Dagger is that kind of person. She was going to gift a full third of it to Candlekeep.
That's a lot of books.
Yeah, it is. It's fucking 80 books almost. She had to make a specific magic item just to carry all these fucking books around.
I'm like over 10,000-year-old vampire. I can tell you my memoirs.
Well, if you write that down, we might accept it.
No, but the books are expensive. Here's my diary.
Well, you can if you're able to get inside, one of our monks would be able to transcribe it for you for a fee.
Good old Amnesis, a nice first level spell. Copies any non-magical text.
Here's a ritual to turn people into living vampires.
I have a shitload of books. That Dagger smart enough, she would have just put one in your backpack.
Okay, Baron. I'm humored by this. Baron, so you write this down on something?
Oh no.
You just casually write down how to make living vampires?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
He holds it, and then he holds his symbol, and you notice the eye on the symbol glow.
Gives me the dirty look.
And he seems to like close his eyes and focus on it for a second. And he says, "I'm sorry, we already have a copy in the library."
No, I'm pretty sure you can't have this exact copy. This exact copy guide does not exist in your universe. You see, there's different intuitions and different words and different apparati. Mm-hmm.
I just rolled on a D100 for the 1% chance that they have your book.
Wow.
And
they
they
don't have
it.
my book. No one has my book. Because there's only one.
What
copy.
The Baron doesn't know is Volo actually used it as his means of getting in last time.
That's the thing, though. Like, the Baron just wrote it down. How would they have gotten it? Like, what person from Ixalian made their way here?
Another vampire from Ixalian that wanted access to Candlekeep.
They don't exist. I shall destroy them all.
Should be lucky we're more lenient on our entrance fee. It had to be an original copy of a book worth at least 1,000 gold.
Oh, I got one of those right here. It's my journal.
And in 3.5 was an original copy of a book that was worth 10,000 gold.
So hilariously, you also have in your backpack Dag's journal that has both her stuff in it and your story that she transcribed.
You need a piece of knowledge that no one knows except for the individual, right? There you go. It's my middle name. No one knows it.
Okay.
Now give me the rest of the books back.
I don't think that's going to cut it.
Every one of us.
I mean, they haven't accepted anything I've given them. I've been like, hey, here's an original journal. Here's some memoirs. And they're just like,
Fair enough. Let me let you in.
See?
Varth uses some of the books that Dagger gave us to use.
Heading inside, you are greeted into, they say, welcome seekers to Candlekeep. And Dagger would know, because she's been such a fangirl over Candlekeep, that those that are visiting are cult seekers.
Do all the guards around here have quarterstaffs, wear full plate mail, and look bored?
Yes.
And yawn in increments of 5 seconds?
Sometimes. Okay. They like to spice it up a little bit.
Baldur's Gate video game reference. You start off there in Candlekeep, and all the guards go in increments of 5 seconds, and they all stand there with quarterstaffs and like dither, and they're wearing plate mail.
Nice. Plate mail and quarterstaffs.
2nd edition plate mail. Yeah, and quarterstaffs is what they have.
Type B weapons up to full plate mail for regular clerics.
Okay, yeah, I forgot the Type B weapons thing. Yep.
Most people use maces because it looks cooler, or warhammers, but you know.
Dagger has just got her eyes peeled. Look at the books.
Where are your books on?
You see out here in this open court, that is a cobbled courtyard, and it contains neither tree nor well. It's just complete cobblestone. But on the southern wall, you see 2 buildings. One is a temple, you assume to Ogma, and another appears to be some kind of tavern.
I mean, we have been traveling for a while. Do you guys want to stop and get a bite to eat before we head to the library?
Yeah, that would be nice.
All right, as you
Fresh food is always better than trail rations.
as you head over there, you
Yeah,
smell
especially
fresh
considering
food.
we got them from the most generic general store ever.
Yes, as Varth looks at his bag of salted nuts.
Little
with a
ass,
dried
tiny-
potato.
General shop in a hamlet.
The medieval equivalent of a potato chip, just a potato that's been doused in salt.
Still a potato chip.
But it's a potato, so it's like the whole potato just doused in salt.
They can still slice potatoes. No, they've never heard of knives.
No, they're not gonna slice it.
As the smell of freshly baked bread wafts into your nostrils, you notice the sign outside says the hearth. And as you enter, you notice that the hearth has a low ceiling supported by massive wooden cross beams and narrow shuttered windows. A large fire pit is in the middle of the room, surrounded by half a dozen tables and matching benches. It looks like you could fit about 30 people in here comfortably at any time. But most of the patrons appear to be what you would expect, mostly scholars. But in the corner, the one that stands out the most, you see an ogre wearing a headband, reading books.
Is the ogre blue?
No.
Does he have tiny horns?
He looks like what would be a local ogre, I guess. When I say local, I mean of the Sword Coast.
Got it.
Common ogre.
Does he have a mace on his side and in increments of 5 seconds say, "I will smash your face"?
Nope.
No? Okay.
But he's holding what appears to be a comedically small book in his large stature, and he's just reading it, you know? And
huge.
as he's sitting there reading it, you notice one of the purple-robed monks go by with a book and says, "I have another gift for you, little one," and puts down the book on his table, which already has a few books on it.
Wait, a monk goes by and gives a book to the ogre and calls the ogre little one?
Yes.
Huh. Now I'm curious.
Same.
Hi, welcome to the hearth. Crazy kooky lady in the front. She's got an apron with like 50,000 buttons on it.
Hi, we were looking just for a warm meal and maybe something to drink.
Party of 3 and a cardboard, okay.
Well, 3 and a cardboard and the NPCs, because we didn't want to have them leave without Azra saying goodbye.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, we brought him along.
They're probably
could read up on combat
already
techniques.
bored out of their mind. Which is why I suggested the tavern first.
But they get a few tables scooted together. You guys get your group table. And you guys get a hot meal each. I'll say it was... How nice are you guys thinking? Because let's say they have like a standard and then they have like better than standard.
Better than standard.
5 silver each.
We're fine.
It would have been 2 silver for standard.
Okay. 5 silver. Oh god, I don't know if
I got it.
have that. The comedic value of that is lost to anyone who hasn't seen my character sheet with the pile of gold in my inventory that has been sitting there since the beginning of our looting. That I've spent not a dime of.
Dagger, with your crazy hawk eyes, you notice that the book that was given to this ogre, the title of it on the spine in common says, "Ardent Preaching of the Humans, Human Religion and Pantheons."
Aww.
This poor guy probably just killed some random wizard adventurer and stole his
It's
fucking
headband of
This
intellect.
book-
And now he's got 18 intelligence, and he's an ogre going, "My god,
19.
I spent most of my life smashing things when I could be reading."
This book is torn and stained pretty badly, and some of the pages appear to be missing.
When the Hostess brings back our meal. I'm gonna ask her.
Oh, you know what? She's a halfling. It just makes sense. It's a place called the
Whatever.
Hearth.
Yeah. That makes sense.
She's an old halfling. No, I'm kidding.
Wait a minute.
She's like, how did I get here? I'm in the wrong sphere.
I'm in the wrong sphere.
So what can you tell us about this place? We've never actually been to Candlekeep before.
Well, it appears to be a library of books.
I'll say her apron's purple because the Candlekeep.
Any interesting characters come in recently?
She does mention about a party of adventurers that came here fairly recently to talk with one of the head researchers here, named Silvra Zavikas. Something about an infernal puzzle box. It was a Triton, Kobold, Dragonborn, and wow, my brain's farting. It's the
Half-orc.
two hell we ride. Yes. Sorry.
Sounds like a bunch of gits.
Infernal puzzle box.
If it was a cube with different size, it's called a lament configuration. Really good at parties.
Well, you enjoy your meal
funny
now,
thing is-
and call me if you need anything.
Sure thing. Okay, so first off, I have to say I cannot tell whether or not Azra would be too frustrated by an infernal puzzle box, that she would spend hours with it, or if she would just get frustrated with it and melt it if she can't figure it out after a
Right.
while.
Right.
And number two, I
wondered the
also
same
want to
thing.
ask that hostess about the ogre, because he's an interesting fellow.
Oh, you talking about a little one?
Yes! Is that
Oh, he's-
actually what he goes by?
That's what he's told us he goes by. Yes. He has a bit of a tragic past, though. I think he would rather have himself say it than me.
That makes
But he is very friendly and always a seeker of knowledge, so he has become almost a mascot here in a way.
Ogre, tell us your sad backstory.
I
Mhm.
kicked Baron.
As he just like lifts his head up and looks over.
Come, have a drink. Tell us your sad backstory.
Looks at the
I aimed
hostess,
for the
and
Baron
she
and
kind of
kicked
like
the table instead because I rolled a 2.
We're here for knowledge.
He
And
looks-
Stop kicking my table.
he looks at the hostess and lets out a deep bellow sigh, and she just like awkwardly
Dude.
scoots off. And he gets up, and you hear the whole bench that he's sitting in for himself, go. "Rrrr." And he brings
just
over
leaves.
the same bench to sit there. Because I mean, come on.
The only one reinforced for his booty.
I mean, when you think about it, once you get your butt spot just perfect,
That's
you don't
fair.
want to sit on another bench.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm. It probably has like
That's
a
why
little
we all
divot,
have our favorite chair at the orphanage.
2 like divots where it just.
Let me guess. Bard,
No, I'm not a bard.
pointing at Dagger.
Well, you just point out the
I don't actually even know if I have an instrument on me anymore.
You appear to be a seeker of lore. That's what most bards
Okay, that
do.
tracks. He also might have heard the,
Oh.
showed up to Candlekeep with 80 books.
Apparently, lore is
Big.
also the name of women because seeker of lore. Bards have a reputation of seducing everything because reasons. Anyway,
But you're not a bard? Looking at the Baron.
No, he just
Nope.
thinks he is.
I never said
Seems-
I was a bard.
Seems full of himself like one. No offense.
Bards have nothing on me.
It's true.
He could probably teach them a thing or two.
No,
So-
I'm a traveler from distant worlds, of many which you would never have heard of.
Mount Celestia?
Been there once, never going
Not
back.
really different planes.
Mhm.
Quite literally different worlds.
Different multiverse that is recently
Also
sort
planes.
of
We've also been to a couple different planes with him.
Interesting. I haven't gotten to
I have
that
been
part
to-
of the Great Library just yet.
I have been to
I think
every.
they're called spheres.
realm in what you call the Great Wheel. I've been, not realm, every plane. I've been to at least once. Some I'm never going back to.
Remind me what's the difference? This is
Great-
Cat talking. Dagger would know. She's smarter than I am.
The Great Wheel is the outer planes of D&D.
Oh, okay. So like Celestia and
Mhm.
the Abyss and
Yep. Some you never want to go. I'm not going to go back
Another
to.
sphere would just be a different.
yeah. If you ever make your way to the
world.
Abyss, do not attack the yellow trees. Don't do it.
Oh,
Fruit though.
I don't plan on traveling to any planes.
But yeah,
That's smart.
Probably safer.
Arcadia. Don't ever want to go back to Arcadia. Stepped on one blade of grass. Boom! Guards everywhere.
So is there any reason you needed to speak with me?
Well, the hostess said you had a interesting backstory. My friend over here thinks that it's weird that you're an ogre reading a book, which is weird because where I come from, ogres are very intelligent.
I wanted to say hi.
Hmm.
I've
Hello.
Oh, they're also curious why you call it the tiny one when you're quite large.
I was a little curious.
Yeah.
Well, a few years ago, I was like many of my kind, brutish and cruel and dumb. But I met a tiny little adventurer, which I now know is a halfling, and they were wearing a shiny gold headband. It looked nice. I wanted it. So I took the tree trunk I had and I smashed him right in the head. After I took it, it seemed to grow to fit my head size, and I put it on, and seemed to make me smarter, and I had realized what I had done. I did not have a name before, but I decided to name myself Little One. In honor of that poor halfling whose life I cut short. Now I just wish to seek more knowledge.
Oh.
Well, do you have any favorite subjects that you're interested in? I might have something. I have quite a few books on me. Hopefully a lot of them are in here. That was the intention.
Well, I have been getting interested in, and he just like make sure like the rest of the stuff doesn't like he's trying to be a little more private about it. He's like, I found this one book called Tusk Love.
I fucking have a trashy romance in my inventory, I think, because I joined that stupid romance book club before we left home.
Wait, you are part of that book club? I had heard rumors. I was hoping to travel there one day.
Oh my god, it's the best. I love it so much.
Reports on Naranzaru is a lot better now that we've helped restore much of its ancient power and knowledge.
Here's my here's one of my favorites. Is he goes to that back to his table and he comes back with a book and it's like black leather and then like embroidered inside it just says soft shadow.
I just pulled up that table I have of them. If you want to let me roll in there to see which one of these things I have.
Sure.
Oh my god, some of these I think we made, like that you were
4d12.
talking about, all sound amazing.
As you pull out bag of smut.
Uh-huh. Okay. Number... Unchained Paladin. An uptight, virtuous paladin seduced by a roguish mercenary while they trek through the jungle hunting ancient holy relics.
I always find it interesting how smaller humanoids relate with one another, so to speak. Usually us ogres just yell at each other and then stuff happens.
I mean, to be fair, there are plenty of humanoids that do that too.
More than you would imagine.
You don't even need to roll Arcana. You've definitely been, since you've been talking with him enough and you got a good close look at it, it is a headband of intellect.
Oh yeah, we've actually seen one before. Didn't Azra have one for a while?
I
think she might have.
So I'd like to say that she did.
I think she got it really early on and then realized like
was
6
like
levels later that she was actually smarter without it than she was with it.
Right, because it sets your intelligence to 19 as opposed to giving you a bonus.
And then a halfling bought it and went to Sword Coast. No, I'm kidding.
Oh god.
I'm kidding.
Creamed.
I'm kidding. That's way too coincidental.
I actually have no idea where that thing landed. Who knows?
Yeah,
I think she still has
It
it.
could be fucking anywhere.
In any case, do you discuss anything else with little one?
Yeah, she like we were just gonna make conversation while eating.
Okay, I'm gonna keep auto generating until I find another smut book.
Probably have an entire section on commie.
Probably. Let's see. If I rolled again. Oh no! I rolled again and I got Strands of Seduction. A human rogue becomes the consort of a sensuous strider woman with lots of silk and BDSM involved.
Oh boy.
Oh my.
Our Discord would like it.
What are you talking about? Our Discord came up with these things.
I was gonna say they're the ones that came up with the names. Which is why I was laughing when you said you looked
80% of this was just me and Jen going fucking buck wild for like 2 hours.
I remember tossing in some names that I thought were interesting or sounded like some from another game. References to, of course, Skyrim.
Of course, yeah.
But in any case,
the infamous Lusty Argonian.
I would say definitely by this point it's getting dark. That does not mean you guys need to sleep. I'm just saying it's definitely nighttime at this point. The place is very well lit. It's Candlekeep after all.
Are there rooms available in the inn? Or
Yep.
Awesome. How much?
4 bed.
Excuse me.
A 4-bedroom one will be. Let's see. Yeah, you know, got a lot of them open for now. So gold a night for 4-bedroom. Or 4-bedded room. My bad.
Okay. Guess we'll take 2 since there's so many of us.
Okay. You notice
stays in whatever one Dagger and everyone else is in, and just puddles himself into his normal bucket.
Oh, I puddle.
You notice that there's desks in each of the rooms, along with a reading candle spot.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, would make sense.
Fade to black. Cockle-doodle-doo. It's next morning.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Dagger will probably wait until next morning. Just
Does it look like we're going to spend quite a bit of in-game time here? Like, as far as, like, time goes, like a week or
We don't
more?
have to.
Well,
Like,
I know
in-game,
that,
rather, of course.
well, like, there's a limit that you're not allowed to stay longer than a 10-day, right?
Yeah, if you ask one of the monks.
So we at least know that we're not going to be any longer than that.
Yeah.
I don't
Actually,
expect to stay that whole time, but
never mind. Get rid of the cost for those rooms. I forgot. You guys were allowed in, so you already paid your fee.
Oh.
See? Deals.
Also, minus anything for the food. I apologize.
Nah. Varth spent it anyway.
Okay. They'll take it as donations to Candlekeep, I guess.
Exactly.
You head back outside, and it's the Court of Air. That was this cobblestone courtyard. You notice there is a big castle on the other side of the courtyard, which Dagger's pretty sure is the Great Library.
yeah, first thing in the morning, she's heading there.
And most of the rest of the courtyard is just probably monks bringing in goods from the main entranceway, because there are groups that trade with them. They do it all outside, right at the gate, and then they bring stuff to and fro.
Mhm.
So you head into the Great Library.
Anybody coming with?
Sure. I mean, why else are we here?
That's fair.
Oh yeah,
I'll look around.
there was the Great Library, and there was the church, and there's the hearth, and that's pretty much everything.
Yeah, we'll all go to the library.
You head inside, and this is probably, as you expected, the largest library you could have ever dreamed of, if not bigger. The bookshelves, as you enter in, you do not see the top of.
Phew. That is a very big bookcase.
And as you move further in, and there's like open spots where there's long tables where people can sit down with books and such, you notice that there are floating candles, little candelabras, just every once in a while, seem to follow people who need the light, almost like they're automated in their own magical constructy way. There seem to be spots where, like, the main bookshelves seem to go up to near infinitum, or whatever you want to call that. But you see that there are spiral stairways that head upwards, and there are multiple levels here. And it is pretty overwhelming on the amount of books that seem to be around. If you look at any of the bookshelves and the sorting that they do, it is very specifically niche for each section. So one's like recipe books specifically from Calenshine with purple ingredients or something, and then that's like its own bookshelf.
Purple? Is
Like-
that love?
Yeah, it's that crazy specific.
Mm-hmm.
But you can go up to one of the monks, and they can guide you via locate object or other divine spells to the section that you seek.
Well, I guess the main thing that we're here looking for is information on aboleths.
You're looking for introduction to aboleths, anatomy of aboleths, societies of aboleths.
Societies, maybe. We already have a bit of the introduction to them. Maybe society, yeah.
Follow me. And the monk.
Unless we
takes
each
you
want to
guys there.
tackle a different aspect of it.
I think maybe divide and conquer our efforts of research. I will try the basics of aboleths to see if there's anything else there we don't already know.
That's smart.
Also, because I don't really remember much about them.
Baron,
Okay, so you guys
any,
head to
Oh, look, a section about
your different sections. Now, Candlekeep, in all of my research on Candlekeep, it has all come to the same conclusion. It's pretty much you ask the DM whatever you want, and the DM just tells you everything they know. And that is Candlekeep. Because it is the lore on everything. So anything that the DM would know is in here. This includes forbidden texts that are in the basement. And I will say, if you guys are trying to, like, the anatomy and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that will be in the basement. And a lot of that stuff, they have, like, signs. You very clearly see, like, stairways that go downstairs that are, like, warning, restricted tomes. Not for those of weak will, stuff like that. Pretty much books that could harm you.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
The books that when you pick them up, they bite back.
this book says the world is flat. Ah,
Or they might, it might be like a Necronomicon down there or something. I don't know.
Books
oh,
that could
it's a
actually
book from
do
Kami.
damage
It's
if
a
you
bunch
read
of
them.
naked demons.
Book of
They might have a copy
Vile
of Book of Vile
Darkness.
Darkness in here. It would not be that shocking, really. Same with your Book of Exalted Deeds, though, too. That you had.
I look for
Though
books on
books like
apotheosis.
that,
Apotheosis.
those books like that, and those like the Tome of Strength or whatever the manuals, those will cost you money to get access to, just because they're one of those very limited uses where you go to read it and then the book can't do anything for 100 years.
Yeah.
And it will,
I was under the impression that the Book of Exalted Deeds was a singular item.
yeah, it might be here. Who knows?
Oh, okay.
Because you don't have
Maybe
it
this
anymore.
is its regular resting place
Yeah.
after it's been somewhere else. It
Who
floats
knows?
back
For all
here
I know,
a
it teleported to somewhere in the middle of the planet glass.
This is our random magical book teleporting closet. Nothing there yet. Oh, look, there's a book.
It's just where the return. That's what the return chute is.
I will say the last thing for decorations, decor, for the inside of the Great Library is you notice that there are all these towers seem to go to archmages or scholars or both that seem to specialize in specific things, and one of them is for this Silvicus for the infernal studies.
Azra, no, Azra. Don't.
She may or may not be a key NPC in Descent into Avernus.
Oh.
Azra?
Probably. But okay, so
Yeah.
one at a time. What questions you got?
Varth's gonna brush up on the basics of aboleths. He's not really going to necessarily ask questions about it. He just completely forgets a lot of our last adventure, and really wants to kind of brush up on, well, what's an aboleth? What's an aboleth actually do?
Okay, I'll
Why
keep that.
an aboleth?
I'll keep that fairly brief. They're weird fish aliens, but they aren't actually aliens. They were on Torel before any other of the creatures were, possibly before the Dawn War, though it's not quite known for sure.
It says here that they claim they were here before Ao was.
That sounds like horse shit.
Well, a lot of these are like,
Aboleth said.
a lot of these are like sages say possibly
They're
this.
self-written.
You know,
Yeah.
the Dawn War was like over 30,000 years in the past or
Right.
something. You know, like
Right.
come on, they're not gonna have. Anyway,
Well, I'm sure the elves have books from that long ago. I don't think anyone else does.
aboleths have enslaving psionic abilities, which are some of the most powerful in all of the multiverse. Rivaled that with mind flayers. They're surprisingly strong for being beings that rely more on intelligence than anything else. So they're about 10 feet long, so they're pretty big fish. They got tentacles, and they got 3 eyes that are vertically on their heads. And they have their own language, but they usually speak via telepathy, both to themselves and to other species, if they feel like speaking to other species. The most deadly thing about them, probably, besides their mental enslavement abilities, is their mucus. And their mucus causes it's like a weird mucousy coating that's on their skin. That seems to cause humanoid creatures, actually not just humanoid creatures, any living creature really, to possibly succumb to a disease that makes their skin transparent. It makes it so they can't breathe air. So that's the basics.
Do I think, judging from what this book has told me, that I could use Greater Restoration to restore him to his former self?
Now I pull out the monster manual.
That's what I was gonna ask. How do we reverse the effects of the
which is why Varth went
This
to the
book-
basics
Aboleth's
section.
not-
Because
This book does not go into that specific detail. It was just a.
Yeah,
We'll say
I'm
this
That
book
would
looking at
was
probably
like.
be the
section-
anatomy.
Right. I'm looking at a section of books, so I'm kind of just going to look at the basics until somebody tells me it's curable.
Okay. Actually, give me just intelligence rolls, like investigation rolls. We'll go with that.
Oh, okay.
Because
I
the
think that's
monks
just
can
true.
guide you to the correct areas to look.
We just have
But
to
in
ask
the
the right
end-
questions.
But in the end, it'll be up to you to find what you want in what book, you know?
Got it.
You'll still find it regardless. This is more of just checking how long it takes.
Oh, I should have been smart. Damn it.
I mean, that's an issue. Huh?
All right, kiss my ass, cat. I just threw my post-it note with my character's name on it.
All right.
Why you do that?
All of the rolls were under 15 except this one. And the 8th roll got me 17.
Okay. I found an interesting quote for you that's in the monster manual, but I think it fits perfectly with Candlekeep, because the book's name is Far Realm, Real Yet Unreal, written by Vakir Zakura, a Githzerai philosopher. The quote says, "Could it be that aboleths are older than the gods? That before the divine ones came to be, such horrors shaped the multiverse?" Now there's a chilling thought. Just a random quote for aboleths. You find out for the mucus. We'll say this is after a full day of looking for it.
Yeah, I rolled terribly, so the fact that it takes an entire day for me to find this is very fitting.
You didn't roll terrible. It's just that there's an overwhelmingly huge amount of books for everything. in
Got it.
Candlekeep.
Okay.
Nothing short of a wish could cure one that's fully succumbed to it.
Ugh. And I do not have that.
And by fully succumbed, I mean they turn into scum. And as you're reading about scum, you immediately recognize them from the Maze of Shadows.
Oh, okay.
Very
Hmm.
filthy scum.
You're not sure if Azra's brother is at that state, but if it's just the disease itself, a heal spell or equivalent or higher disease curing spell. Yeah, a disease curing spell of 6th level or higher, or the spell heal, could cure it. Nothing else will.
But if he's turned into a scum, there's no fixing him.
Nothing
Aside
short of
from
a
wish.
wish.
And the miracle's not a spell anymore, so just a wish, right?
Because at that point, the scum, the aboleth doesn't even need to actively keep enslavement on it. The body and mind has been so modified at that point that they are just infatuated with the aboleth. They are an extension of it, so to speak.
We are aboleth.
Yeah. Could a true resurrection technically bring them back?
They have to be dead first.
True resurrection would resurrect them back as a scum. That's how powerful this is.
Wow. Damn. Okay.
Wish.
Sorry,
So
Ezra.
wish, the only way to fix it.
Your brother says
She does have the spell.
Yeah, she actually has
What?
wish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't used it because it's dangerous. Because if
Right.
you use it wrong, you might never get to cast it again.
Right. Your wish could very well be answered by an Ifrit instead of a Jinn.
Well, like literally when you cast the spell in 5e, if you don't use it to do like the specific thing of cast the spell of I think
Reverse
it's
this or
8th or
something.
8th or 7th level spell or lower, if it doesn't replicate another spell, you roll a dice, and depending on what you roll, you lose the ability to cast wish ever again.
You have a 1 in 3
You'll get
chance.
your wish,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Dagger, what are you looking for?
All right. I'm gonna go use the little
so-
druid's room. I'll be back.
Dagger wants to know what their goals are. Like, why might an aboleth be stealing people like this? What is their... Do they just want servants, or do they want, like, to take over the world? Or,
And what did you get on your investigation?
she rolled poorly, so I'm gonna add my, I'm gonna use a bardic inspiration to add to that, because this seems important. Where's my D12?
What?
There we go, that's better. 23.
Okay, it takes you most of the day. A lot of these aboleth societies that you're finding are a lot of small clustered ones where it's just more or less reports of aboleth hunters. A group called, oh shoot, I got their name in here somewhere. There's a specific group of people, keepers of the Celluline sign. I'm gonna copy paste it for you, but they actively are trying to hunt down the aboleth threat on Torel. Most of these reports are from agents of theirs. Think of them as in, if you know Call of Cthulhu, they're like the keepers of the Elder Sign. It's the same kind of thing, trying to keep those outside entities out of here. And most of them are small, like, oh, this aboleth has taken over a local community. That community becomes like a shadow network for the aboleth. And they usually work independently. There's very few of them that are actual societies. The only one that super stands out, and it is got some fairly recent history, a lot of it from Neverwinter, is the Apolethic Society. Or no, sorry, the Apolethic Sovereignty. They are from the 4th age. And they were a very big deal when the giant fissure opened in Neverwinter, which was caused by the Netherese coming back from Shadowfell, and the king of that I'm trying to remember which one it is, but it's one of the floating upside down cities, actually came back from the Shadow Realm, the one that survived, and he cast it was like the 11th level spell, the one that does like you make a volcano erupt and fissures crack and such. But after he cast that spell, that giant crack opened up, and it opened up so far down underneath that it actually went below most of the main part of the Underdark. It opened into the deep Underdark, where there were underground lakes where this aboleth group had been like the whole time and had been pretty much sleeping, and that woke them up. They started becoming active again. Very, very late into the 4th age, Zveel, the floating city, rose up from the Sea of Fallen Stars, which you find out through your reading. Not much is known about it because these aboleths are like none of the other ones that you find on your reports. In fact, most of the aboleth, they seem to be fighting other aboleths in a way. Not directly. More of like, they'll be slaves to one aboleth, and they'll be trying to fight against the abolethic sovereignty. And you find some reports saying that they are possibly the original aboleths in Torel, and that the more recent ones, the more common ones that people have heard of, are like the off branches from eons past, when the city had originally sunk itself millennia ago. It's currently floating over top of the Sea of Fallen Stars. The biggest threat that it has is flying kraken, flying around the spire. And there appears to be a constant storm at the top, with ridiculously huge tentacles coming out of the storm cloud. No one's quite sure what that is. Very few braved, even with a mind blank spell, to venture more than 5 miles from it, radius-wise.
Okay, so clarifications. The abolithic sovereignty and the group of aboleths that were in the deep Underdark that were in the rift when that opened up. They're two different groups.
They are the same.
Oh, they are the same. Okay.
And this city, this floating city, came up at the same time, so they assume that it's also part of this abolithic sovereignty.
Okay. So Svel, the floating city, is not the same as the floating city from Nethril.
Mm-hmm. And a fun little side story you found. The abolithic sovereignty near Neverwinter had enslaved a adult green dragon, and they had also captured a bit of the blue flames from the God damn it, I'm trying to remember what it was called. It's not called the Sundering, is it? The second time magic effed up in Tormund.
Yeah. It's called the second
spell
Sundering.
plague, which is
Spell plague.
The spell plague.
Yeah,
They have plague fire, as it's written, where apparently this abolithic sovereignty has kept some of it, and they've been using it to warp and modify creatures. And this dragon is one of the few ones that they know about. The dragon got driven to madness, and its form got changed into a green-skinned elf, and it thought it was an elf cursed to turn into a dragon, but it was actually the other way around.
So even worse curse.
All of this is from the Fourth Age.
Okay.
Also might be from the video game.
There's a video.
Yeah.
Neverwinter.
I go over to the video game section.
You go over there and you see that there are 5 different currencies in Neverwinter, and none of them are, and like gold coins are worth like nothing there.
Oh, this is like going to Kryn. You ever been there? Horrible place.
I don't know.
Their economy makes no sense. They use steel coins, but their armor's made of steel. The armor's worth more than the coins to buy it. It doesn't make sense, people.
I don't really play the game that much, but Sean from Power Score RPG does. And the brief time we were in Neverwinter, he immediately was like, "Oh, I'm gonna joke and make it like the MMO, because the MMO doesn't match like how you should play D&D at all, because they do what MMOs do. They have 50,000 different kinds of currencies that don't mix. Like you have to have these different ones, and gold gets you like nothing.
Just
like gold's like beginner stuff.
Doesn't make any freaking sense.
But in any case, yeah, you learn about that in your studies.
Okay.
Baron, you looking up anything? You don't have to look up Aboleth stuff, but
Oh no, I'm looking up stuff on apotheosis or apiothesis. So let's go.
Are you looking up how to become a god?
Yes.
give me an intelligence.
Long game. He's been working on this several levels.
Give me an investigation roll.
No, they just show it to me because I'm pretty.
Never mind.
They did. Now you have to search through the area they showed you.
14.
Okay. A few days later.
Oh, Jesus.
Help! I'm lost!
I'm lost.
Baron,
I'm in the section between brownie making and turtle love. Why are these next to each other?
You are almost completely bored out of your mind as you're reading about all these egotistical prophets, so to speak, that believe that they're turning into avatars of gods just because they've killed some powerful being. And you're like, these people are so stupid. Why would they think that?
You have to absorb the power when they die.
But you probably go through at
like, Ken, what are you doing?
Hundreds. But you eventually do find like the God, Deities, and Pantheons book or something like that. And you notice that getting the power of a god, ironically enough, isn't as hard as actually becoming one, because the one thing you need more than anything is worshippers and the other gods of the crystal sphere you're on to allow you to be a god, because essentially worshippers are currency to gods, and you're kind of stealing some of their stuff. So there's got to be like a decent reason that they'd be okay with more competition and already a fairly high competition base. Yes.
Yeah. Gotta have that niche market nobody else
You read up about the the Dead Three. You guys already know out of character, but essentially they were 3 adventurers that outbeat the god of death. What was his name?
Jurgle.
Yeah.
We beat him in a game of skull bones, which
Yes.
is bowling.
And Maylor tried to join in too, but they tricked his ass.
Yeah, they didn't like him.
But
Nobody likes him.
But that appears to be, I was going to say the exception, but it's so rare, I don't even think that's an exception. It was just one event that happened. Each time it's something fairly unique. But it's very, very legendarily rare for an opportunity to even happen, let alone. And you had it happen like, what, 3 or 4 times?
What, that we killed a maybe god?
Yeah.
Maybe god. If you
3 or
include
4?
all Hydra, at least 4. Because there was the 3 parts of the 3 fragments of Ubtao we had to destroy, the corrupted fragments in order to free him.
Essentially, becoming a god is someone believing in you in a specific belief, and you have you as that personification of it. So it's less of you actually being super powerful, it's that they believe you are. You see a bunch of theories about Kuatoa and Blip to Bloop as well.
Why am I not a god yet?
Because you have 20 followers. I don't think 20 people is gonna cut it, my man.
3 copper.
You know you'll need at least a few thousand to reach demigod status.
Yeah.
Good thing he's immortal.
Tess is probably looking for stuff on dungeons and lairs built by aboleths or servants of aboleths.
Investigation.
Oh shit, she's better than I am.
And let me pull up my 3rd edition book on aboleths, because now we're getting real.
Uh-oh. They were the only ones to ever write anything down about aboleths. It was 3rd edition.
Surprisingly enough, kinda, yeah.
4th edition was like, we don't even have them in the monster manual. And 5th edition was like, they're back, I guess. But whatever. We just don't care.
Dirty 20.
So dirty.
Technically, she rolled a 9, but because she is proficient in investigation and she has a reliable talent, she treats it as a 10. So dirty 20.
You said this was for like layers and such for aboleths?
Yeah, like what kind of traps they would have or magics or...
Aboleth cities are usually located primarily deep underground seas and buried waterways miles below the surface of the world. But not all dwell in these infamous sunken cities. Relatively larger number can be found closer to the surface. Yada yada yada. Most of their architecture is minimal, as they prefer large natural caverns, although sometimes they like flooded ruins. The aboleth's personal lair themselves is usually completely submerged underwater, but they always make sure that there is an outer area where there's air breathing spots for servants, because not all the servants are of the level of scum. I think scum are the only ones that are completely can be completely submerged in water at all times and be fine. Also, they don't want to less risk of other things above noticing that they're there.
Someone with transparent skin would be a dead giveaway.
Yeah, typically.
What?
Cool. As for where their layers minions are, most of them tend to be Kuatoa from the record she finds, just because they seem very susceptible to madness and such, so they easily fall into the idea of worshipping the aboleth. Sometimes the aboleth doesn't even need to try to enslave them. They kind of enslave themselves in a way. So most of their craft isn't of their own. They tend to not build things. They have others do it for them. Though the things they do build are not for their lair. But she doesn't get into that section of the library.
Okay.
And that took a day.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 days later, you guys
one more.
like.
Sorry, Chung was gonna look in to see what kind of because she's more of like hit, make, fall down. What hurts them?
Okay.
Like, what are they weak to? What are they probably what are they strong to? Because there's a good chance they don't have that many weaknesses.
Combat records, got it. Investigation for the
yeah,
barbarian.
like adventuring. Yeah. Oof. Come on. Might need lucky. I'm gonna try lucky. It's worse. It's worse.
You really don't have good luck.
I mean, she has a +0, so.
But you're still the one rolling.
By the way, all of you are in the same. You're all in the same tower of the library, because the ableth stuff would be relatively close to each other.
Lucky means you have to take the second roll, doesn't it?
Yeah. No. Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That's right.
6.
She can't understand any of this.
Yeah.
It's kind of overwhelming.
The next day, Dagger is going to be smart, and if we have any other questions, she's going to cast a spell.
You guys easily can find each other. You notice that while you guys have the books and you're studying and such, and the other seekers here as well, that monks and floating animated objects like silver platters and stuff actually do take good care of you guys. So you guys got nice, comfortable seating when you're reading.
Awesome.
You did notice some human guy did pass out, and unseen servants came over with like a blanket and pillow and stuff.
Aww.
So, but they like bring you food and
that
everything. You
bundle
guys literally
yourselves?
never need to leave this library as long as you're staying here.
This is a nice place. Very, what's the word? Cozy. And you have everything serving you, which is really good because you deserve it.
Anyway,
What?
sorry, Dagger. What were you gonna?
Fuck it. I'm gonna cast Enhance Ability on fucking everybody.
As you go to cast it, you notice that the weave in the library is a bit different, but your spell does still go off. It'd be very safe to assume, because you heard about how you can't teleport out of the place or into the place. It's probably it probably words for stuff like that.
Also prevents any fire from smoke.
Yeah. Also maybe fireball won't work here.
Yeah.
Any fire spell.
Make sure you book it to your section though, because it only lasts for an hour, so it'll probably only help you find what you're looking for. But I use 8th level spell slot because I don't expect to get into a fight in the middle of fucking Candlekeep, so that all of us have it, including Azra when she gets back if she wants to roll for anything.
If you do, there's at least 10 archmages here that'll be fighting with you, so I think you'll be fine.
And also Leo, since he's smart enough if he wants to go read up on literally anything. He's
Borg.
I mean, he's got an intelligence of 10. If they have anything written in Sylvan, he can read it natively. Like, he speaks Sylvan. Or he understands it, he just can't speak it.
Okay.
His voice can't make words.
He can make Blink Dog words.
Yeah.
Or
What would Blink Dog be interested in reading about?
Cats. Specifically, displacing ones.
Oh,
and how to
actually,
kill
yeah,
them.
probably displacer beasts. I don't even know if we've ever run into one.
Also, he would go into the self-help section and be like, "Am I good boy?"
how to get away with murder.
Just see, we just like in the middle of what we're doing, look up.
Teaching is walks over to the section on advanced math and goes, and knocks the one off the shelf that says quantum mechanics.
Mhm.
That's the other
Yeah.
one. Learn math. Yeah.
Noses
Yeah.
the page over.
Compendium 6 of 8.
Compendium
Yeah.
6 of 8 on
Just see
advanced
Leo
quantum
walking by, and it's just like, how to become a god.
Be cute.
So
I
what does enhance ability do for everybody?
You have advantage on all intelligence checks for the next hour.
There you go. Okay,
So investigation and just knowledge checks.
we'll loop around except for the Baron, because the Baron did take more than a day for his. If anyone wants to research anything else, I guess you can roll an advantage.
I am gonna that evening though, before we that next morning before we cast a spell, share what we've learned and if there's any other questions that we can think of.
Varth shares what he learned. I admit it wasn't what I thought, but it does give us a means of curing him. Unfortunately, it would require a wish spell in order to reverse it.
That's if
he
he's
has
fully a
evolved.
scum.
Yes. I don't know how long the process takes, or how long he could remain as this cursed state in between being a scum and being alive.
Okay, so that's another question to ask. How long to become a scum?
I'll do more research in that respect.
So from what Dag and Tess learned and put together, there's a good chance that the areas that they're living in under Neverwinter are those like ancient lakes and whatnot that were broken into when that big rift in Neverwinter was opened up. And the downside is that these ones are not normal aboleths, so they might not follow all of the same lore that we know of them, but it's better than nothing.
So because they're ancient aboleths, they may follow a different set of rules or lore than we have here.
We should
research if anyone else has encountered an ancient aboleth.
There's this group of people that are apparently hunting them, and these are the ones that have written down most of the stuff about what was it called? The
Abolethic sovereignty.
Yeah. They are the keepers of the cerulean sign. I think I'm going to research them, see if I can find out where they hang out. Maybe we can talk to them. Maybe we can help recruit their help.
Hey, Varth, there was the symbol was stamped on the foreword of the book you were reading.
The book I was reading had a symbol on it similar to what you were mentioning.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And that was the other thing. There was also a city that was mentioned that came out of that presumably rose up from the gash in Neverwinter during that time period. A flying city called nailed it. That's definitely the name of it.
I'll leave this up to you on how you pronounce this.
Wow.
It is that what I put in Zoom chat? The floating city.
Xifu. I would say
Xifu.
For those at home,
Xifu.
it's XXIPHU.
Zipu.
Zipu. That's what I was thinking. Zifu.
Zapu. It's the city of Zapu. Got it.
It's the city of the poo.
Our continuous making fun of stupid names.
But that's floating over the city of fallen stars. How far away is that from Neverwinter? That's quite a distance.
That's quite a distance.
See, that's still quite a distance, though, isn't it?
Here's the latest entry that now I think about it. When I say think about it, I mean actually look in my notes. As of 1479 DR, Zifu could be spotted hovering across the skies over the Sea of Fallen Stars, usually near Akanol, I think is how that's pronounced.
Near Akanol.
It's got a little accent on it. But it is not close to you guys.
Akanul is how that would be said.
It's like the Sea of Fallen Stars is kind of like a bow, but not really. That's if I really round it out. It's like the middle south section.
But this city Zifu did come up through the
It
hole
came up
in
through
Neverwinter.
It came up through the Sea of Fallen Stars.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
got
It just so happened to coincide with that. Okay.
And that was
But
one
it
of
came
the
up at the exact
Netherese
same time.
That was one of the Netherese cities that had fallen.
One of the Netherese cities caused the crack because they cast a stupid high level spell, the one beyond 9th level ones,
Yeah.
and it was the one that causes volcanoes. Like it conjures a volcano and erupts.
Got it. Yeah, got it. Okay.
Okay.
You know, world changing spells that are not legal.
They had a lot of those
Mm-hmm.
that are no longer legal,
Mm-hmm.
but we're in 2nd edition.
Yeah, so I'm thinking the next ones would be search for how long does it take to become a scum? Where can we find the keepers of the cerulean sign? And several of us should research how do you fight an aboleth, or how do we prevent ourselves from becoming scum? How do we prevent ourselves from being like mind whammied by them? You said that they have psionic abilities, right, Varth?
Yes. Some of the only creatures in the known world to have powerful psionic abilities.
Well, there is a spell
Mind
that
blank, I think.
There's a spell that I first learned from that mandolin thing that I had, that magic instrument.
I think there's a spell called Mind Blank.
Protection from evil. It's a minor thing, but aboleths are aberrations, right?
Yes.
I think this spell would technically stop them from touching you.
Mm.
I mean, that would protect us to some degree, but they could still use powerful mind-altering spells on us.
Okay, so hang on. Until the spell ends, the creature you touch is protected against aberrations. Those creatures have disadvantage on attack rolls against you, and you can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. So it's a minor thing, but it's something that's helpful, at least.
I wonder who learns that spell.
Clerics.
Mind blank?
Huh? Oh, no. Mind blank is a wizard only, maybe.
Mind blank is on the wizard spell list.
Holy shit, it's on the bard spell list, too.
Hey,
it's an 8th level spell. You could probably learn it while we're here.
It would be worth it.
If I can afford it. The thing is, I can't learn it here.
Or
I can't learn new spells.
Oh,
or can... No, I'm kidding.
I could get a scroll of it, and if I get a scroll of it, then I could cast. Or we just see if Azra could learn it, if she doesn't already, which I don't think she does.
They have the ink here to copy scrolls, I'm sure, to a spell book.
It might just be better to buy it, though, because it's going to take forever to do that. Let me look up to see how long it would take to make an 8th level scroll.
A while.
160 days.
How long would it take her to copy it to her book?
Oh, to her book. Way
if she
less.
Copied from a scroll or a spell book to her.
16 hours.
Oh, well.
It's 2 hours per level.
Then let's see if they have a spell book here that already has one, and we can just have her copy it to her spell book.
Yeah. But she wouldn't be able, if we wanted both her and I to have it, then we'd have to buy it, because we don't have time to do it the long way.
I'm looking in here, and I actually find this kind of funny. For spell books, it says if you wanted one of the bunks, they don't let you write anything down here. They have to do it. If you guys want copies of anything in here. A simple spell or cantrip could cost only 25 GP or so, while more complex and powerful spells fetch for 150 gold or more each. But then right above it, it said it might be priced at thousands or even tens of thousands of gold pieces. So it doesn't even know. They don't even know.
I mean, the reason they do that so that there's a huge price on copying Wish or Miracle, like and similar spells.
It's for GM discretion.
It's supposed to be, hey, this spell is incredibly powerful and rare, and they don't want a lot of people to have it. So it's got that cost efficiency on it that only adventurers can afford. Because nobody wants to give the average farmer a Wish spell.
Well, the average farmer can't cast Wish.
He could still read the scroll and blow himself
No.
up or do
I-
something.
That's not the way it works anymore. A first level wizard could cast Wish and blow themselves up.
Right.
But you have to have that level. That's the way it works in 5e.
Okay.
If you to use a scroll, it has to be from your spell list.
Can
So
rogues still just read scrolls anyway?
at a certain level.
And then only protection kind of scrolls, I think.
No.
No?
They can
Or
do
if they use magic items,
yes.
that
It's
or
fucking
Okay.
stupid. Because they're like the rogue magic item thing is you can any magic item that dictates that you have to be a certain race or class to use it, you count as that race or class.
Got it.
Except if it requires attunement by a specific race or class, you don't count as that. Which means basically it works for
Nothing.
scrolls, and that's fucking it. Because everything in the book that requires you to be a certain race or class or alignment
God, I hate that.
also requires attunement by that race or class
God,
or
I hate that.
whatever.
That is
Except
so
for
dumb.
scrolls.
That is so.
And then even with scrolls, you have to make an ability check.
Anyways,
One of my favorite
so
things as rogue was wielding a holy avenger.
in more investigation rolls, I guess.
Yeah. So, Barth, do you want to look up how to become a scum?
Yep.
How long it'll take?
We have advantage.
You
now?
have advantage because of her spell.
Damn it.
Because of that 8th level spell.
Ooh.
It's only 8th level because you cast on so many people at once, right?
16.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that tell me how long it takes to become a scum?
Yeah, it takes you quite a while though. I'm gonna say it takes like a day and a half for you to
Okay.
finally find the specific.
I was
lore.
real concerned for a second because he's like, does it tell me how long it takes to become a scum? And you're like, yeah, but it takes quite a while, like a day and a half. And I'm like, to find it, not to become a scum.
Yeah, to become a scum, it takes maybe a week.
Oh. We have already gone over the time.
At least that's what you think it is.
But the thing is, we don't know how long her brother's been down there.
Right. We've probably already well gone over the time.
But this is like a week after they've gotten the they got a specific name for it, but it's the disease that the aboleth slime puts on you.
Mm-hmm.
Could they fight the disease off for a long period of time and then get this? So could the disease last quite a while?
From what you could
before
tell,
it turns you into one?
they had to be both under the enslavement of the aboleth and under the disease of the mucus saliva stuff. And then the
So then
aboleth
even if we-
themselves physically changes their being.
That helps though, because that means that if we're able to break one of them, we prevent them from being a scum. So we might not be able to get rid of the disease right away because I don't have cleric spells powerful enough to do that. But what I do have is a lot of ways to break charms.
If Azra could use wish, she could reverse the.
Would break it
Yeah, but she can only do it once. She can only do it once a day.
She only needs to do it once.
Yeah, but who knows how many other people are down there? I'm going to make sure that we're a little bit away from Azra when we say this. She doesn't know about the rest of her family. Her entire family could be down there. The only one that she's managed to scry on is her brother.
Azra, you're talking about your family.
I understand. My brother was who she looked up. We need to make sure the rest of her family is safe. Look, you continue doing your research. I don't know her family. I can't help you scry on them.
No, I can't scry on them. I just want to help as many people as we can because Azra had mentioned people have been going missing in Neverwinter for a while. This has been going on for a long time.
What was curious, Varth, with the text that you could find, is it was written from secondhand viewing, where they were interviewing a aboleth that actually had himself named.
Richard.
Galore. And the beginning of I guess it was an article. It wouldn't be that much. Was just stating that the aboleth was already a stone, and the guy who was writing this down wrote it down because he didn't know what the aboleth could do to him. just to have a record.
So do I think this information might be altered or could be incorrect in some way?
Possibly.
Maybe the aboleth influenced its writing to make it seem worse than it is.
But everything here is just written by another person. You're never sure
Right.
what if anything's 100% true.
Well, yeah, that's true.
That's why we have multiple sources.
Right.
Dagger.
I am looking for where to find Keepers of the Cerulean Sign and just any other records of their works with fighting aboleths. Wow! All of these dice need dice jail. I'm gonna roll a fucking Bardic Inspiration again.
You've had a long rest.
And my fate thing, because goddamn, I literally rolled a 1 and a 4 on me d20s. Spend all the things. 22.
21.
Okay. After a day of search, you find they do their best to make sure that they aren't fully known. They don't seem to have a single headquarters per se. They seem to have agents everywhere, almost like the Harpers. But even more secretive and a lot fewer in number. Since you got so high on that investigation, you are also able to find that every single named person in this group that you were searching for, and where the ones that had their location specifically, there are also obituaries for them dying. And it would be safe to assume with your investigation that aboleths are also seekers of knowledge, and they can enslave anyone. So if they find out if anyone's in that group or where they are located, they could probably fairly easily get in a mole there or something and ruin things. So the group seems to be less of a group and more of an individual effort for the common cause.
It's a strange mention somewhere that some of them escaped to some strange world known as Morkios and did some stuff there. Left some books behind.
Nice.
That was, by the way, the reference in the Dream campaign. Was this group.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Dead serious. It was this exact group. It was a group of elves that worked for them. Hence the
Holy
name
shit, that's actually spelled the same, the Cerulean Sign.
Uh-huh. Where do you think I got the name from?
That never occurred to me. Holy shit. It just hit me.
Yep. That's where I got it from.
Boom.
Oh, we also, since you were looking up the battles for them and such, you did find out that they did stop in the woods outside in Neverwinter. The aboleths were trying to open up a portal to the far realm, and they stopped them. Got some adventurers to take care of it, the usual spiel. Some 4th edition adventure.
Oh, yeah, okay. I remember reading about that one.
And you do find you were not looking for this while you were searching, Dagger. But since you were looking up this group specifically in their battles with the aboleth, you find that they've actually been fighting mind flayers around the Sea of Fallen Stars. A little dangerously too close to this floating aboleth city. Maybe they're connected.
Oh, God. Maybe the Elder Brain is an aboleth.
Cue Baldur's Gate 3 trailer. No, I'm kidding.
An aboleth Elder Brain.
You know what just occurred to me? I'm going to say to whoever is nearest.
Huh? Yeah? Caesarine the monk.
I want to go find one of my friends.
Oh, they're right over there. I cast locate person. There you go.
We don't actually know where her brother is. Her brother might not even be under Neverwinter at all. He could be in that city, Zifu.
Why would it be in Zifu? What is a Zifu?
This floating city that I was telling you about. Yes, never mind.
I've been in this other section this whole time.
You did not sleep in that other section.
I don't sleep.
I believe I pinned it to the Discord, but when you found the book, the stuff about that city, that picture I had is like a.
Yeah.
We'll say there was like a black and white ink version of that in the book.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, those are krakens. You know, like how krakens are supposed to look like, giant squid.
Oh dear.
I mean, why
That's
would
some-
you assume that there?
That's some beyond 20th
I don't
level
know, I
siege.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It just
Because
occurred.
it's
I'm
mentioned in
not
the book doesn't
assuming
mean
it's
it's
there. It just occurred to me that we don't know for certain that where he is. It's probably under Neverwinter, but it's been a long time. Anyway, just a thought.
It's
that
been like 2 weeks since we scryed him last.
when we scryed at him, there was nothing indicating where he was. It's not like we saw a welcome to Neverwinter. She saw a welcome to Neverwinter sign.
They were like, hey, we're in Neverwinter.
No, they weren't. He was in a fucking cave.
That's what I remember. Wait, if it's a
Was
cave,
he?
it wouldn't be in a flying city because they wouldn't have caves.
It was completely underwater cavern, yeah.
Okay, Val.
Besides, we're going to send your sister and her girlfriend over to Quamir region. They can explore that.
That's true. Wait.
Huh?
Tess and Chung aren't girlfriends.
They're not?
No.
Oh, I
Platonic
thought
life
since they were
partners.
together all the time.
No, Chung has a thing for Azra.
I thought all three of them were a thing.
I just walk away. That's not a thing I need to think about in my life.
I mean, it's like 1490 something in the realms. It's a modern age.
Just awkward. Nope. I'm gone.
There's this book from the guy named Kami that has pictures of how it works out.
God, I have
Tommy writing fucking smut from the afterlife.
It's even got instructions.
The Kami Sutra.
Any other aboleths questions you guys have? Candlekeep. You're about half of a 10-day, and at this point.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes, and apparently I got distracted mid-writing one of the questions down, because I have protections against aboleths, ? And then, what are aboleths? And then I just stopped.
Why
I think I was going to go with, like, what are aboleths' strengths?
Oh yeah, you were gonna search that because Chung didn't make a check.
I'll say,
Right.
Yeah, Tess will go for how to protect it, or Tess will go for what are their strengths, and then Chung will try for what can you do to protect against them.
Okay.
Doing Chung first, and that's better. That's way better. That's a 16 for Chung.
Okay. It takes her a good 2 days. To even just focus on reading this stuff, you know. It's just very boring to read for her, probably. Wait, no, you said Tess, not Chung, right?
No, this one was for Chung.
Okay, yeah, that it's just, you know, hard to concentrate on words on paper. It's probably her biggest problem.
I mean, I can't
But they're-
imagine it's the most exciting stuff either.
But it's like, it's just them describing combat, you know, it's not actual pictures or don't even talk about the cool stuff or anything. It's just like, oh, hey, they fought here. They like Tolkien it and they like spend 3 pages talking about a tree. And she's like, come on, I don't care about the tree. I care about the dragon under the gold. Anyway, so.
And then it's like, oh, but the
Right.
tree bit back. Oh, okay, well, you should have led with that.
Their biggest strength seems to be their intelligence and their charisma. Though pretty much all their mental stats are their greatest strengths. And I'll just meta. Their strength score is 21. So they're not something to just sneeze at. So she's pretty sure she couldn't wrestle one effectively, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
What was the second one? Second thing?
How to protect against them. What spells or tactics would work.
They seem to do a lot of charming effects. At least for the enslavements things. And a nasty thing they have is probing telepathy. If a creature communicates with them telepathically, the aboleth learns the creature's greatest desires, as if the aboleth can see the creature. So it doesn't even have to see them. Just needs to communicate with them via telepathy, and they have innate telepathy. So essentially,
So the
you
second
get
answer the
within
phone.
a certain range, they just know your deepest desires.
Okay, so unless you have a way to block telepathy.
Yeah, you need a way to block telepathy and block charm, and the mucus itself is the whole another thing on its own. That's a disease.
The
So
mind
protect
blank
against
spell
disease.
will block their ability to charm you, period.
Okay.
Because mind blank lasts for 24 hours after casting it.
To specify on the mucus, it is a DC 14 Constitution saving throw, or you become diseased. The disease has no effect for a minute and can be removed by any magic that cures disease. But after that minute, it causes the creature's skin to become translucent and slimy. The creature can't regain hit points unless it is underwater, and the disease can't be removed by any spell other than heal or another disease curing spell of 6th level or higher. While that creature is outside of a body of water, they take acid damage every 10 minutes unless moisture is applied to the skin before the 10 minutes have passed. So it's a pretty nasty disease. But if you acted on quickly, you don't need anything that strong. Like Lesser Restoration would cure it if you did it in the first minute.
Mm-hmm.
So would that make monks immune?
I think so.
No,
At a certain level?
Do monks get immunity to disease?
I thought they got immunity to poison
Yeah.
to disease.
Yep. I thought
It
they
is a
did, too.
disease.
Dana would be immune to that shit.
There you go.
She's not here though. God, she'd be a wrecking ball with these idiots.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's probably the biggest thing Chung found. Monks are by far the most formidable foes against them. Also mind flares. But she sees it as illithid, and she's probably not sure what illithid means and asks somebody. Also Gesundheit.
Yeah, because
Anything else you guys want to search?
Ooh, anything you can think of, Baron?
Nah, mine thing just takes a while to learn.
That was like 2 days ago. At this point, it's been like 5 days.
Yeah, I think it's gotten to.
Oh, fine. I'll go look something else.
And I'll cast that 8th level spell every day, or that spell at 8th level every day.
Okay. You don't have to, Baron. I'm just saying it's been a few days.
Let's just look up general history and geography, because if I'm going to eventually ascend, I need to know about this world a little bit more.
Fair enough.
That's also smart to look at the history of Neverwinter and see if we can see anything about what is under
Just
the
see this
city.
now. Dagger walks up. Oh, that's smart. Looking up the history of Neverwinter for this stuff. Right. Looking up the history of Neverwinter for that. I got you.
It just happens to be a book in like
it's
just
no
a pile
relevance,
of books
yeah.
of all the biggest cities on the Sword Coast. You're like, holy fuck, this is the first time I've been on this place. I should like look up the general history. It's just like the Wikipedia articles. It just so happens that Neverwinter is on the top.
And I met this nice monk named Wiki. He's very helpful in finding information.
He left this encyclopedia.
And his cousin Britannica's a bit more dry,
He's got
though.
like 200 or 300 scrolls here.
So how many copies of Volo's Guide to the North and Volo's Guide to Neverwinter and whatnot do we run into here?
There's whole sections that is just that book, just different variations.
Volo has his own section. Yeah, no, he 100% would. Like, yeah.
Like each one's labeled as like missing page 203, missing page 3, assigned by Volo. You know, each one has like a very specific difference between each other.
Yeah, but like, there are still a ton of them. It's Guide to Monsters, Guide to Ravenloft, which Guide to they're fucking all over the place. There are many of them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Baron, since you're just looking around, you see a book titled Red Goes Faster, the definitive biography of Zomo the Mad Goblin, who broke out of the celestial sphere and returned to tell about it. The book is torn, stained, and charred.
But still legible?
Most of it is illegible. But it's just one of the books you're just pondering through.
Weird.
Oh yeah, and its first page has a nice, colorful, almost like figure painting illustration on the front of this goblin. And it's like him like jumping out, and there's like a glowing sphere. And he's just like, ah! But any case, since we're gonna be wrapping up pretty soon, I'll narrow down possible questions. Maybe. Do you guys want to look up more on the Abolithic sovereignty? Do you want to look up more on them capturing the blue flames that that are part of the spell plague? Do you want to look up the whole relationship with them and mind flayers, or if there is one?
Yeah, Varth will look that up.
Any possible cases of people being cured from being a scum?
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Varth will look that up too.
Okay.
Dag is interested in the Abolithic sovereignty with the intent that she's going to be a fucking dumbass, and probably next time she's going to do legend lore on those assholes.
Varth's also interested in potions of mind blank. Are they made and do they exist?
Potions of mind blank?
Yeah. It's a wizard spell. It's an 8th level wizard spell, but it's a wizard spell.
That's not really how potions work anymore. But
I understand
it's worth checking into.
But they've worked that way before on Faerun for at least 2 other editions before this one. So maybe 3. I'm not sure how potions worked in 4th. There might not have been any.
There are rings of it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that means you have to attune to them. And all of us have max attune slots.
Yeah, but if the other option is an aboleth can, mind bone you,
Well,
I'd rather give up one of my attuned things.
Mind boning.
Yeah, I guess Varth's going to research the best way to, or the cheapest method of having enough mind blank for the whole party. The most economic method of mind blanking a group of people. Specifically 10 people.
Lots of booze.
The spell. Varth's aware of how that works. He's watched people do it.
Yeah, I think that the Abolithic sovereignty is one of the things that that and the plague fire are the 2 things that Dag is the most concerned about.
Okay. Starting with Varth, we don't need to roll anymore. I think you guys have shown your overall how long it'll take each of you for your stuff. You find that probably the most feasible way of doing the mind blank thing is not by casting mind blank at all, but instead having everybody a ring of mind shielding. You not gain immunity from the psychic damage from the spell, but you pretty much get everything else, and it's a hell of a lot cheaper.
Hell of a lot cheaper. God, do you need to
that's what
Yes.
that's what Azra has.
Ring of
Actually,
mind
no. Oh no, yeah, it does. Sorry, Like down in the little thing, it didn't show attunement, and then I look up and it says
Oh.
required attunement. So.
Damn it. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
When winning a ring, you are immune to magic that allows other creatures to read your thoughts, determine if you're lying, know your alignment, or your creature type. Creatures can telepathically communicate with you only if you allow it. You can also make yourself invisible until you use another action, make it visible, or remove the ring. Actually,
You can make yourself invisible to them? Wait, what?
okay, so this wouldn't make you immune to charm though.
But it would
That's a
at least
huge
make.
problem.
But it would at least make you immune to the telepathy thing.
It'd be a constant passive. That'd be pretty nice. There's no limit on it as long as you're attuned to the ring and you're wearing it.
Can they still scry on you or use some type of divination on you too?
Well, no, mind blank completely blocks. Doesn't it?
This
No?
isn't mind blank. This is mind shielding. It's not the same thing.
Oh, okay. I might be fucking up that and the ring of non-detection. Now that I think
Yeah.
about it.
That's actually probably what I was thinking of.
Mind blank is substantially more badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that's what the ring of non-detection does.
Okay.
Actually, it's an amulet in 5th. Amulet of proof against detection and location. You are hidden from divination magic, and you can't be targeted by magics that perceive you through magical scrying sensors.
Oh. Okay.
But like I said, there are spells that protect against charm. So that gets us past at least one of the obelisk things.
Heroism is one of many that I can think of. That makes you... no, heroism's for frightened. My bad.
Counter charm. I can do that all day.
Can you really?
Yeah.
It's a bard thing.
I have to spend my action to start it, and I have to maintain concentration as a spell.
Can you do that if they're attempting to charm you?
Let me check my bard books.
Because if you can't, they'll just charm you first, because they've got like 40 intelligence.
I mean, yeah, but... it's something.
The Abolithic Sovereignty, now I actually pulled out the 4th edition book that has them in it. They are not from Torel originally. Well, technically they were, but also not. Long time ago, during the Dawn War, Torel used to be Torel Abel or something like that, right?
Abir Torel.
Abriel Torel.
Mm-hmm.
And the world got split in two. 4th edition, the 4th Age, whatever you want to call it, really got big into the gods versus primordials for the Dawn War.
That's where it originated. It didn't exist before that.
Okay, so that's what originated it. But the two worlds, or the world itself, got split into two different versions. And the primordials got one, and the gods got the other. And the gods got Torel. What was the other one again? I'm so sorry.
Abir.
Abir. That's where these aboleths came from. They went with Abir originally. But then when the spell plague happened, a few things from each of the worlds flip-flopped, like Evermeet flip-flopped. Like it wasn't originally on Torel, it was like in the Feywild or something, and that messed with it. But anyway. This is a kingdom of aboleths that were transported from Abir. And they settled in and forged a flying citadel that is the Zifu. And they were quite interested in the spell plague because of the powerful consequences it did to the weave of the sphere itself. and they're finding ways to try to harness it so they can manipulate the weave in their own ways.
Oh boy, that's super bad.
So you find a lot of horror stories, Dagger, of found experiments of theirs that are called, that just overall have been called in Neverwinter, the Plague Touched.
Oh god.
And the consistent theme with all of them is something to do with blue flames. Some of them will have like blue flames shooting out of their eyes. Some will just like they'll just have like glowing blue veins, and it just looks like fires ready to burst out of them. Some actually having wings made of blue flames.
Oh.
You know, just blue flame. Think pyrokinesis, Blake, since I know you know what they are, but
Yeah.
with blue flames.
Oh god. Okay.
Those are the most notable ones, but you do see some others that are more of what you'd expect from Cthulhu stuff, where like the body's been altered and they're like, oh.
Yeah. They're quite hideously disgusting.
Mm-hmm. But that's what the Apolithic Sovereignty seems to do a lot of. Also, giving themselves innate flying abilities.
That's also disturbing.
Along with Morkoths, which I don't know if you know in character what those are, and Krakens.
Krakens are also super powerful, intelligent beings that now serve the Aboleth.
Apparently.
So we definitely know what a Kraken is. I don't know if she'd know what a Morkoth is.
Do you search around for that as well?
Sure, why not?
Okay. You're in the place for it, so...
yeah.
Morkoth. Let me pull you up. You find a guide written by Volo about monsters, and it's in there. Do you still read it?
God damn it, Volo.
She's judging him the whole time, but she's reading it.
Okay, let me get to that section in the book.
Wait a minute, do I own that?
Yes, you do. This one's a signed copy that you find in Candlekeep. Well, one of the many copies you find. Seems a lot of people use Volo's books as entrance fees. No, we're not looking at Devourers. Hopefully not.
God, I looked at those the other day.
They are the worst.
Because for some reason I pulled out one of the 3.5 books and I was looking in there for inspiration for new monsters. And I'm like, I found the Devourer. I'm like, holy shit, that's badass. And then 2 days later I was looking in Volo's and I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yep.
How did I not notice these are the same fucking thing?
Yep.
I think the 3.5 one was way scarier though.
Yeah.
I prefer the more simplified stat blocks of 5e, but...
The picture was a lot scarier.
Yeah.
Morkoths. Ancient, devious Morkoths are vicious collectors. They're pretty much like flying weird squid apparitions that live inside giant pearls. Long ago, a deity of greed and strife perished in the battles among immortals. Its body drifted through the astral plane, eventually becoming a petrified husk. This corpse floated up against the pearlescent remnants of a celestial matter imbued with life and life-giving magic. The collision shattered both objects, releasing a storm of chaotic energy. Countless islands of mixed matter spun away in a silvery void. Within some of them, a vein of pearl-like material held a bit of the deity's rejuvenated supernatural vitality, which spontaneously created these inhabitable environments, and inside them, these eggs, the Morkoth, are born. A Morkoth's island, this pearl, the sphere, has the qualities of a dreamscape in which nature and predictability take a backseat to strangeness and chaos. Let's see. Essentially, they're primeval hoarders. They love material wealth. Now that you're reading up on them, you remember way back at the auction in the City of Glass, there was one there. bidding for the platinum trout. But its main problem was it didn't want to give anything in return. It just wanted it. So it was essentially. I remember you guys could have.
No give, only throw.
You guys could have persuaded it to bid. If you were able to tell it that stuff it had was of less value, and it would be making a profit.
Yeah, I think we were probably like, that guy's weird. We're gonna avoid him.
Yeah, he's a gargantuan flying squid crab creature. Yeah, you guys would stay away from that. I didn't blame you. But yeah, they are CR 11. They have a lot of innate spell casting up to 6th level. They can reflect spells. They're pretty nasty.
Oof.
They like to keep the treasure on their backs. Like a certain giant crab I know.
And then what's their relationship to aboleths? Just that they are also aberrations, or
Apparently.
okay.
They don't seem to really have a connection with Torel. They definitely seem to be more like I don't know. They're more planar. Yeah, they're more like astral plane, the plane of water. Any of the outer planes that have water, they tend to be around. Not because they don't need to be in it. They just like to be around it.
Yeah.
They're like a very, very tiny demigods in a way. Though that's overstating their power. They're not demigod. Quasi at their best, probably.
Those are the main questions that we had. I do think we should probably stay for a day or so to let Azra look at it. And I will say during that last day or so, Tess actually probably took a break from studying aboleth shit to look up information on the Purple Dragon Knights. And where like bastions of them might be, and where they might keep like a prison.
Okay. We'll do that real quick and then be a good spot to stop.
But she's not saying anything to anybody other than the guy that she asked where to lead her to it.
Okay, Purple Dragon Knights are warrior elite of the Kumorian army, the bulk of which are just known simply as Purple Dragons. They're knights that distinguish themselves with courage and honor. Yeah, they're pretty much higher level paladins in a way. Actually, no, most of them aren't paladins. They're knights. They're
fighters.
Cavalier.
On battlefield, they seem to work with the Cormyrean war wizards in order to overcome enemy flanks. The knight's name came from a ancient black dragon known as a Thalgor, who once dominated the area encompassed by the present kingdom. Once he had matured, this black dragon matured to ancient, his scales had faded from ebony to velvet, thus the origins. That I did not know, so that's interesting. They seem to have a lot of special abilities. Most of them are defensive. And rallying cries and stuff you would expect, like non-magical paladins, essentially. Yeah, they are fairly boring, actually. They're very stereotypical lawful good knights faction.
Yeah, she's less interested in them and more of like, where are their fortresses located? And,
all around Cormyr.
Okay.
Nowhere else. They're specifically Cormyrian.
Which would actually geographically fit where the flying city was last located. The Aboleth's flying city
The-
above the Sea of Fallen Stars.
The Purple Dragon Knights are as localized as the Waterdeep City Watch for Waterdeep. You know, it's just like very specifically for that.
Wait, is
Thing.
Cormyr a city or a nation?
Country.
Or, okay, maybe not that specific then. For the country.
Okay.
The
It's a
Yeah, yeah.
nation
kind of a
of
city-state.
Cormyr is north of the city of Westgate and left of Sembia. And if you're heading from the Sword Coast, it's almost directly east of Baldur's Gate. If you just went straight east and cut across 2 mountain ranges and a forest.
Also known as Forest Country and also the Land of the Purple Dragon, because they just can't get enough of that Purple Dragon.
Purple Dragon.
Their capital is Suzail.
Yep.
Metropolis on the coast. It has a direct link to Waterdeep. Their harbors do, for trade.
Now, I think it's via a river.
Oh.
Let's see. Suzail.
Oh, no. Wow. Okay.
Altered it? Maybe it's a portal.
This
No,
can't
'cause
this
Cormyr
can't be
hates
right.
magic.
This can't be right. Let me double check this source. Of course it's 4th edition. All right. So apparently there is a Waterdeep portal, and near Waterdeep Harbor there is somehow a magical portal that leads right into the river that goes to Suzail. And it is called Waterdeep Portal.
Imaginative name.
Yeah. Welcome to the 4th Age.
That's terrible. The nation of Cormyr hates magic like that.
It's on the shores of Lake Dragonmere. I think you guys just said that. But
Also, there's probably like 74 regulations involving that portal alone. Cormyr is one of those nations that has a law for every law, and every law that has a law has another law.
I mean, for what it's worth, most cities are kind of like that.
Yeah, but this is like the bureaucracy levels of regulation, where it's like, yes, you wish to purchase an item. Well, allow me to get you the requisition form for item purchase. Before you can buy it, you must fill this out. Yeah, that's the level of regulation they have.
But Cormyr is a fairly big country. So
most powerful in that area.
yeah.
Decently big. In 4th edition, they conquered the nation of Sembia right before 4th edition. So Sembia fell to Cormyr right before 4th edition happened, in a novel that was released right before 4th edition was. Because the novels are the history of Faerun. Which is cool if you like reading fantasy books.
And on that note of lore dump episode,
Yes.
I think we'll call it an episode.
Hey, that's
So
an episode.
before we head off for the night, anyone have any plugs?
Tomorrow, Waterdeep. I think we're gonna maybe go finally meet Uncle Fajul, whatever the fuck his name is.
Fajulis.
Yep. And see where that goes. And I think the plan was to try and maybe turn him and Manchun against each other and hope that they're not like, oh man, I missed you so much, and become super best buddies again, because that would be a bad idea.
Start kissing and making out.
Oh, fun
Yeah.
fact, in the Chaos Crew one, our DM Dylan made Manchun the Blackstaff. He stole the Blackstaff. We were fighting the Xanathar, and he showed up to help because he owed someone in the party a favor. And the Blackstaff, like all the big shots were there trying to help fight the Xanathar and his guild. And after the Xanathar died, he looked at the Blackstaff and said, "Die," and she did. And then he took her staff and ran.
Wow.
Of course, she was immediately revived later, but that's the fun we got going on right now.
Sometimes.
But yeah, Chaos Screw, that's on Dylan Rancy's channel. Sorry for plugging while you were plugging. But
It's fine.
On Twitch, I do have a bunch of panels down below now. For all the shows that are hosted on this Twitch channel, which are a lot, all their playlists on YouTube are down there. So you should definitely go check them out if curious. Sorry, did you have anything else?
I just looked down at my list of my to-do list and realized that the Waterdeep crew still have the Rings of Winter embedded in them.
Yep, no problem.
Yep, no biggie. That's definitely not an issue at all in any way possible.
No, it's not going to become an issue at some point in the future.
Nah.
Nah.
And then I guess next week is Corruption Crew, where hopefully everybody will reunite with Passion, and Aya will hopefully not kill me for making her wait an additional session until being reunited with a girlfriend.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. I'm excited. You guys are gonna actually maybe do some plot or some bullshit like that.
I believe that's all the plugs really we got, right?
Mm-hmm.
One more.
One more? Go ahead. Hey!
Stay tuned, as it appears we're getting close to that dramatic climax to this particular campaign. We will be running Dark Matter, which I now have an official copy of, available for purchase from Mage Hand Prince.
With campaign name pending. Actually, no, I think you already have one, don't you?
The Mystery of the Silver Fleet.
Yeah, because unlike me, you know how to make names, so you're just, I got it.
It happens.
Stay tuned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And on that note, thank you everyone who watches this live and watches in post. It is very greatly appreciated. I'm very happy that you are invested enough to want to watch these episodes. And we'll see you next time.
Yep. Ciao.
See ya.